Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Bagus Adi Dewantoro, and here I will tell about review novel, the title of A Little Life. And next, and this is a picture of the story A Little Life, created by Hanya Yanagihara. Before I will little telling to you about profile this novel. A Little Life is a 2015 novel by American novelist Hanya Yanagihara. The novel was written over the course of 18 months. Despite the length and difficult subject matter, it became a critically acclaimed bestseller. And the first, I will explain to you about plot summary. The novel follows the life of four friends in New York City from college drug to middle age. It focused particularly on Judd, a lawyer with a mysterious past, ambiguous ethnicity, and unexplained health issues. Judd walks with a limp and suffers from severe nerve damage in his spine that caused him great pain and which he blames on a car injury he sustained as a child. Unbeknownst to the rest of the group, he also habitually self-harms. The rest of the group includes Malcolm, a struggling architect from a wealthy biracial family who still lives at home. GB, a painter of Haitian descent, and Willem, an aspiring actor with whom Judd is close because both are orphans. After graduation, Judd and Willem share a one-bedroom apartment due to their relative poverty compared to their friends. And next, despite his apparent closeness with his friends, Judd finds himself unable to divulge either detail of his past or current state of mind to his roommate. John tells the thrives in his law practice and develops a close parent-child relationship with his former professor, Harold, and his wife Julia, which result in the pair adopting him when Judd turns 30. While thankful, the time before the adoption is filled with further bouts of self-harm, as Judd believes he is inherently unworthy of affection. Meanwhile, the rest of the group finds success in their respective fields, with Willem become a star of theater and then film. GB finds success as an artist, but also becomes addicted to crystal meth. The group stage an intervention where GB mocks Judd by doing a crude imitation of his lamp. In spite of successful treatment and a great deal of apologizing, Judd finds it impossible to forgive GB. Willem refuses to forgive him too, causing the group to fragment with only Malcolm remaining friends with all four members. And next, it becomes clear that Judd was sexually traumatized at a very young age, making it difficult for him to engage in a romantic relationship. His friends and loved ones begin questioning this isolation as he enters his 40s, with Willem especially being baffled with regards to Judd's sexuality as his loneliness grows more intense. He enters an abusive relationship with fashion executive Kel, who is disgusted by Judge Lam and his increasing use of welfare. Judge finally breaks off the relationship after Kel rapes him, and they meet a final time when Kel follows him to dinner with Harold, humiliates him, and then follows Judge to his apartment, where he brutally beats and rapes him, leaving him for dead. Judd not, Judd not, I'm sorry, Judd nonetheless refused to report the incident to the police, believing he deserved it. Besides Harold and Andy, Judd's doctor and ongoing confidence know the truth of the failed relationship. Although Judd's body managed to heal, the rapes caused him to flashback to his childhood, wherein he was raised in a monastery and repeatedly sexually assaulted by the brothers. He recalls a period when one of the brothers Luke ran away with him, forcing him into years of child prostitution. After he was rescued by the police, Judd was placed in state care, where the abuse continued at the hands of the counselors there. After the breakup with Sally brings back this childhood trauma. Judd finally decides to kill himself but survives the attempt. In the aftermath, William comes back home and begins to live with him. Judd continues to revisit therapy, but begins to tell William the least traumatic stories about his childhood, which William finds disturbing and horrifying. The two soon begin a relationship, but Judd continues to struggle with opening up and does not enjoy having sex with him. In an attempt to curb his cutting, Judd decides to instead burn himself as a form of self-harm, but accidentally inflict third-degree burns that require a skin graft. The wound is so severe that Andy tells him he has to tell William what happened, or else he will do it for him. Before Judd can tell Willem, Andy accidentally divulges the information. Willem is horrified, but after a difficult fight, Judd finally confesses that he does not enjoy sex and tells Willem about the years of sexual and physical abuse he endured. Judd also reveals that he escaped stage care at age 15 and hitchhiked, performing sexual acts as payment to drivers. He also explains to Willem that the damage to his legs was caused by a man called Dr. Tyler, who picked Judd up and held him captive while he cured him of venereal disease, assaulted him, and eventually ran him over with his car. The relationship continues with Willem sleeping with women and not with Judd for a while until he eventually stops due to a sense of guilt and uneasiness. The two settle into a comfortable life together, which is second when Judd's legs become worse and he must reluctantly amputate. He managed to learn to walk again with his new prosthetics, and the pair enter a period of their life which Willem dubs the happy years. However, while picking up Malcolm and his wife from the train station for a visit, Willem is involved in a car accident with a drunk driver, which kills all three occupants. With his close friends and lover dead, Judd descends once again into self-destructive habits. Losing such an excessive amount of weight that his remaining loved one staged another intervention. Though they are able to get him to gain weight and to attend therapy, years of depression and despair finally overtake Jack, and he takes his own life. And next, I will tell about the structure part. A Little Life is divided into 7 separate parts and follows a chronological narrative with flashbacks frequently interspersed throughout. The novel's narrative perspective shifts throughout the story progression. During the beginning of the novel, a third-person omniscient perspective privileging the thought of John, Willem, GB, or Malcolm is employed. As the story gradually shifts its focus toward Judd, its perspective progressively molds entirely around each character's interaction with Judd and the experience of Judd himself. This literary perspective is punctuated by first-person narrative told from an unspecific future by an older herald. And then them's part. Number 1 is male relationship. A core focus of the novel is the evolution of the relationship between Judd, Willem, GB, Malcolm, and Judd's adoptive father Harold. Judd's life in particular is populated by men who love and care about him, as well as men that exploit and abuse him, and those who fall in the liminal space between the two categories. The social and emotional life of each male character are the fabric that weave the novel together, creating an insular narrative bubble that provides few clues about the historical moment in which the story is situated. And next, Yanagihara confines the reader's perspective and emphasizes the explanation of the distinct interior life of each character and the people that populate and influence their life. There are few women dispersed throughout the story. As a result, the novel can be considered a rumination of the strength and the limits of romantic love, friendship, and relationship among men. Despite the various iterations of relationship and attempts to connect with Jack, his existence is often stagnated by isolation and loneliness in dealing with trauma and pain. His few attempts to reach out and connect with others during his adult life manifest in the repetition of yet another cycle of sexual abuse and trauma, his relationship with Cal. The flashback to his abusive experience with Dr. Tyler, Brother Luke, and boys' home counselors demonstrate the moral and affective extremes of abuse and exploitation that he experienced. Yet the novel invites juxtaposition by way of narration from Harold, who shows a father unconditional, benevolent love to his adopted son. And last, number 2 is trauma, recovery, and support. In an article written for New York Magazine, Yanagihara states that one of the things she wants to do with this book was create a protagonist who never got better. For him, to begin healthy or appear so and sick. Both the main character and the plot itself, the first 16 years of Judd's life, plagued by sexual, physical, and psychological abuse, continue to haunt him as he enters adulthood. His trauma directly affects his mental and physical health, relationship, belief, and the ways in which he navigates the world. He struggles to move beyond the damage the past has wrought upon his body and psyche. Other than Anna, Judge Dick's chaos manager who predates the novel's beginning, and William later in the novel, he devotes almost none of his past to those close to him. The failure to understand Judd's trauma is a constant point of tension in the novel, as well as the subsequent frustrations that stems from his inability to build mutual network of support among his friends and family. Judd's friends, including Andy, are constantly plagued by doubts about the ethical choice, such as allowing Judd to live independently while harboring the knowledge of his psychically self-destructive behavior. Throughout the novel, Judd constantly apologizes for his action and for the inability to take the help that will be given to him. Okay, thank you so much for your attention. I apologize if me many mistake for the presentation today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.